This way, please. They're in the lounge. I'll show you.
Must be beginner's luck getting a call out here, Adam. Most of the male members of the relief devote a great deal of time and energy to trying to get inside this place.
I don't need any help getting inside a nurse's home, June, on or off duty.
Joe.
Joe, I'm WPC Ackland. This is PC Boston.
Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Angry, that's all.
Would you like to tell me what happened?
Oh, I was on my way to the bathroom.
You can see that, Joe.
And?
There was this old bloke standing in the corridor. I didn't take much notice of him. I thought it must be someone's dad. But as I was passing him, he said, "Nice to see you stripped and ready for action, darling. I fancy a quick one." Then he smacked me on the bum.
Description?
Well, he was old, obviously, balding, fat. He had this enormous stomach. He was wearing a cheap suit, blue, with a V-neck jumper.
That's very good. You're obviously very observant.
Does anyone know if he's left the building?
Do you think he might still be here?
Well, I think we better look.
I've called security. They're checking outside.
Fat lot of use they are.
Don't you worry. If he's here, we'll find him.
And nobody knows who this bloke was or how he got in.
Nobody fitting that description came through the front door, I can promise you that. I was on the front desk all evening. Nobody gets past me.
Sierra Oscar 85 from Sierra Oscar. Location, over.
Yeah, Harlow Street, Sarge.
Yeah, Brett's Hotel, junction of Dell Road and Tamar Street. Assault, woman injured. The ambulance is on the way.
Can you deal?
Yeah, right, on way. Yeah, if you take the next left there, we can go around the back of the bus station.
I ought to know my way to Brett's by now, mate.
Yeah, sorry. What, another Tom bashing, Drew?
It's got to be favourite.
Sierra Oscar 85 to Sierra Oscar. ETA Brett's, 30 seconds.
Yeah, the informant and Mr. Banwell confirmed the suspect decal.
Here we go, boy. Brett's world-famous knowledge.
Mr. Banwell?
That's right, in here.
What happened?
What do you think?
I'll go and check out the room up there, Tom.
Yeah, all right.
I can't allow this sort of carry on here, you know. I've got other guests to think about. I wouldn't have called you, only I thought he was going to kill her.
Who was? A pimp?
No, he was a punter, wasn't he, Nicky?
Yeah.
Description?
Didn't get much of a look at him, I'm afraid. I heard her scream soon after they arrived. I came up here to find out what was going on. I shouted that I was calling for the police and went downstairs. He ran out when I was on the telephone. Tall bloke, fast on his feet.
What about when they came in? Must have got a good look at him then.
Afraid not. He sort of hid behind her. A lot of the punters don't want to be seen.
Have you ever seen him before?
No. It's lucky I weren't wearing tights. What are you staring at? Ain't you never seen a bit of leg before?
Oi! Come on, careful, careful. Can you tell me about the bloke that did this to you, Nicky?
I think I'd better do that.
It's all right, love. You can go in.
You must have frightened her off, Adam.
There has to be a first time for everything.
Adam!
Wedged open.
Yep. Nah, nothing. Well, at least we know how he got in and out, probably.
Must have thought it was his lucky night.
Well, why was the door open in the first place? I mean, it must have been open from the inside originally.
Perhaps he was here legitimately earlier.
Doing what?
I don't know, servicing a boiler, fixing a leak, anything.
Possible, I suppose.
Why don't you go and check it out with the hall porter while I speak to some of the nurses, see if any of them spotted this bloke?
I've got a better idea. Why don't you talk to the hall porter and I'll talk to the nurses?
Spoil my fun, why don't you?
All right, let's take it. You've got to make a statement, Nicky. I'm trying to help.
All right, what are you going to do? Arrest us all? Clean up the streets. That'd be good, wouldn't it? We'll get ourselves beaten up and just fracture weavings then, could we?
Well, we've got to find this nutter before he kills one of you.
Be softer than it, please. Look, I'll think about it, all right? You won't do me or nothing if I tell you.
No. I'll see you in casualty, all right?
It happens all the time.
Jammed open?
Yeah. Oh, all present and correct. Fire door it is, then. One of the nurses will have done it, not a workman.
Why?
Because they can't be bothered to come down and collect their boyfriends from the front desk, that's why.
All visitors have to report to the front desk then?
Right, and then the nurse has to be fetched to come and collect them. But if she wants to have a bath or something and she knows her boyfriend's on his way...
She jams open the fire door and lets him make his own way out.
Right. Of course, I tell my lads to close any doors that they might see open, but why do they bother? When someone comes along a few minutes later and opens it again.
With the nurses are letting intruders get in, they can't really complain, can they?
Oh, hello.
What's up?
Early this evening, there was an incident in this corridor down by the bathrooms. I wondered if you heard anything.
An incident? Do you mean Joe?
Yes.
Well, I heard her going on about some bloke that had felt her up or something. Was it serious then?
Well, she's all right. You didn't see anyone?
No.
A man. Middle-aged, fat, balding.
Oh, yeah. But that was much earlier. It was long before Joe started blabbing. He went into Tina's room, that one there.
Thanks.
It's okay. Tina has a lot of visitors. Strange taste in men, if you ask me, but there we are. It's her life, isn't it?
Right.
So long as it doesn't affect the rest of us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going out?
Yeah.
Well, look, this won't take a moment. It's about your colleague who was assaulted earlier this evening. Can I come in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mike, that's Salt and Tom. Did you get any details?
No, not yet. I was just on my way to St Hughes. Why?
I thought I'd go and have a word with her. I interviewed the other two earlier.
Right.
Are you coming, Mike?
Yeah, Helen, Tono. Just a minute. Do you think we've got some sort of psycho out there then, Sarge? Getting his kicks out of beating up prostitutes?
Could be.
It goes like that sometimes, doesn't it, Sarge? A run. Doesn't mean it's all the same man.
Still think I'll take the trip down to St Hughes, though, see if I can get some info.
Yeah.
Come
on!
on!
All right, Tom.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's got a point, though.
Tom's always being beaten up, Mike. It's part of the job.
So you've had no visitors at all this evening?
No.
A man answering the description of the assailant was seen coming into this room.
It's not true.
Well, why would anyone lie?
They want me out. They're jealous of me.
Jealous of what, Tina?
I don't know. Boyfriends.
I heard you have a lot of boyfriends.
It's none of your business. Or theirs.
Well, it is if they go around assaulting people. All right, so you heard nothing? I mean, no shouting? Anything?
No. I don't know why Joe's making such a fuss. With a face like hers, she ought to be flattered.
Look, this isn't a joke, Tina. I mean, all right, it wasn't a very serious incident, but it could have been. Don't you care?
Why should I?
Well, she's your mate, isn't she?
No. They're all the same here. Bitches. All they're interested in is money.
And what makes you say that, Tina?
Because it's true. They used me and dumped me, so why should I worry about them?
Excuse me, sorry. Nicky Thomas?
Oh, no, just a throw.
Nicky Thomas?
Yeah, that's me.
Can I have a word?
I just want to go home.
Look, Nicky, you're the third working girl to be beaten up this week.
Third? I'm a sixth, I know about.
All the more reason to help us. This way. All right, come on.
Look, I want you gone by the time my friend arrives.
You mean your pimp?
Friend.
Take a seat.
He thinks he's all the protection I need, but he's wrong.
He is. The only protection against a man like that is for us to lock him up.
Yeah, but if I'd listened to Amy and not worked round by the station, I wouldn't have picked him up in the first place, would I?
Yeah, but if you all avoided it, he'd just change his spot. So go on, tell us something about the man who's responsible. You picked him up at the tube, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I was alone, on foot. He hardly spoke.
Can you describe him?
Yeah, he was tall, and tough, I can tell you. Early 30s, I suppose. Clean-shaven, wearing a woolly hat and a fleece jacket with yellow stripes.
What did he do?
What, you want all the details?
I want a vague idea.
Well, I took him to Brett's and got us a room.
Is that your usual?
Yep. So I took him upstairs, and as soon as we got in the room, he shoves me hard, and he puts a chair up under the door, and he starts hitting me straight off. So I start screaming and shouting. Ted.
Who?
Ted Banwell. He looks after the rooms at Brett's. I never used to like him, actually. He's always asking for freebies. But he really done the business for me tonight.
Might be front the nutter off.
Well, he must have done, because he just stopped hitting me all of a sudden and bolted. I never had a punter beat me up before we'd done anything, if you get me. Afterwards, to get out of paying for it, yeah. Never before. It's like got off on it, you know.
I'm looking for...
I'd say nothing, right?
You're not helping yourself, Nicky, by refusing to cooperate.
Well, that's for me to decide, isn't it?
You're the chief security officer, Mr. Cook. The bottom line is, this is your fault.
Be reasonable, Miss Whale. It's not security's job to lock up after the nurses.
You wouldn't have to if we got rid of this antiquated system of visiting.
Look, we've been through all this 100 times. I see no benefit in going over it again.
Do you know what it's like? Terry knows all about us. Who's going out with who, how often. I mean, it's not so bad for someone like me with a steady boyfriend. But what about the male nurses? If another man visits them, they think they're going to be labelled gay. I mean, how much would an intercom system cost?
Too much. Speak to the League of Friends, see if they'll pay.
I have. They won't.
Look, we can only protect you if you cooperate with us. No, unlike you, I have a home to go to.
What was all that about?
Slight difference of opinion.
The man's useless. I'm going to make a formal complaint.
That it, June?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure the intruder was a guest of one of the students, Tina Asholt, although she's denying it.
Well, she would do, wouldn't she? Doesn't want everyone to know her boyfriend touches up other girls.
Yeah. I talked to some of the other girls about her. She's got a lot of boyfriends. They're all very cagey about her. I don't think they like her very much.
Probably jealous. Look her, is she?
Well, it depends on your taste, Adam.
I'll let you know. Look, this nurse is a bit loose and picked up a dirty old man, that's all. End of story.
Adam?
I mean, it's nothing for us to get worked up about and like that mother hen in there.
Sorry, June. She just seems to have got things a bit out of proportion, that's all. Let's get back. With a bit of luck, that's it for the shift.
Are we sure it's the same man each time?
Pretty sure, sir. Similar description, similar MO. Always picks them up from the tube station on foot. Always gives them a beating straight away.
Unusual.
And worrying, sir. It's the violence he's interested in. Never gets around to the sex.
So, what are you suggesting, Matthew?
Send a couple of lads in as punters tomorrow. Question the Toms, try and build up a picture of how he works. Maybe even get one of them to identify him.
It might be helpful, Matthew, but if we are going to charge him, we're going to need a great deal more than that.
Never know, sir.
Might catch him at it.
Who are you thinking of using?
Myself and Tony Stemp.
You better take Jarvis along as backup.
That should keep us out of trouble.
So we put it in the ambulance with him, mate. Nobody noticed.
It can't be natural, all those women living together.
There are male nurses living there too, you know.
Not many. Most of those are a touch feminine.
Sounds like an interesting conversation.
Only if you're a narrow-minded bigot.
Thought I might find you two here.
Sorry, Sarge. It's hardly worth starting anything now, Sarge.
It's all right. I'm not here for a bollocking. Got a nice little job for you two tomorrow.
Can hardly wait.
OK, talk to them in the street. Don't go to them unless they're worried about their pimps. And let us know where you're going, if poss.
Right, Sarge.
Tony, if either of us gone more than 20 minutes, come looking. It means we've bitten off more than we can chew.
All right, Sarge.
Hello, Marcy.
Nearly didn't recognise you out of uniform.
You heard about this nutter who's beating up the girls?
It's hard not to.
And you're still working the station?
Listen, I appreciate your concern, love, but I can look after myself. See, I only go in cars, and the bastard hasn't got one, has he?
As far as you know.
Well, it's reassuring to know you're there to protect us anyway.
You've seen him, then?
Nothing to know of. Like I say, I only go in cars. It's less overheads. See ya.
You don't think there can be any connection, do you?
Bloke they're looking for is tall and thin. The man in the nurse's home was old and fat. Do all men look alike to you, or what?
No, it's just...
Sierra Oscar 452 from Sierra Oscar, receiving.
Go ahead, Sarge.
At St Hugh's nurse's home, one of the nurses has been assaulted. Suspect decamped. Can you deal?
On way, Sarge.
Mass hysteria again?
Now, one of the male nurses will have overdosed on testosterone and gone berserk with an Uzi.
How much longer are you going to be hanging around?
I've got all night. How about you?
It ain't helping business, you know what I mean?
I'm not here to help business. I'm here to catch the bastard who's been beating up your girls to try and protect them from him.
That's my job.
Well, if you did your job a little better, I wouldn't be standing out here in the cold, would I?
Keep your gear on, Amy. No, don't.
Come on.
No, don't. Sit down. Tell me about this bloke. He attacked you last week.
That's right, Thursday. Something heavy, though. He just knocked me round a bit. It happens.
It does seem to be getting more violent, though, Amy.
Yeah, well, that's the worrying bit. I've told the other girls what he looks like, how he works, and most of them are avoiding the area. But it's not easy. We've all got to earn a living.
What, you're still working the station?
Yeah. Well, I'm hardly likely to go with the same bloke twice, am I? And it means I'm getting lots of work that normally goes to the others, too.
You're quite the businesswoman, aren't you?
Well, I would be if I wasn't sitting up here chatting to you. Free of charge.
So what did he look like?
Tall. Skinny greaseball. He only spoke in a whisper. Dark fleece-type jacket with yellow stripes.
Sounds a real charmer.
Well, most punters are.
Anything else?
Mind your backs, please.
Tina?
What happened? The girls that found her are through here. Anyone see what happened?
Yeah, I was going down the corridor and I heard screams, sounds of a struggle. I ran towards the sound and I saw this man leaving Tina's room and running off down the corridor.
Description?
Oh, the corridor light was off. He was tall, dark jacket with yellow stripes, I think.
Did you see him, Joe?
She found Tina.
Oh.
He was lying in this pool of blood. It was everywhere. He's probably still here hiding. He might be waiting for somebody else.
Hey, hang on, I thought he'd definitely gone.
Security are checking outside. They're watching all the gates. But they're onto it quick, so there's a good chance he's still around the hospital somewhere.
Right, we're going to need backup.
Did anyone else see
Yeah,
or
I'll
hear
stick
anything?
with
I told her this had happened. I warned her.
What do you mean?
Tina had a lot of men
And a
friends.
pretty unsavoury bunch if the last couple of days anything to go by.
Yeah, well, you can't be too choosy about your customers.
Customers? Are you saying that Tina was moonlighting as a prostitute? Why didn't you tell us this yesterday?
All units, urgent assistance required at St Hugh's. Serious assault. Suspect still on premises.
Receive, Sarge, on way. Sarge!
Wait!
Sound man, he's changed tactics, beating up a nurse at St Hugh's.
Is he still there?
Yeah. Hospital security's got the place as tight as possible.
Oh, stupid cows.
Cow? Tina must have let her clients in and out this way.
Any sign? Nope. He'll be well on his way by now. I'll do another check around the communal areas, make sure all the doors are secure, then join him outside.
Right, I'll go down to casualty.
Hospital security are trying to cover all the exits.
Right, mate, you come with me, you two go that way. We'll meet up round the back. By that time, the others will be here. We'll do a proper sweep, right?
Hello, Tina. Remember me? We spoke yesterday. We know what you've been doing, Tina.
Sarge! Over there!
Come here! Cheers, mate.
Nothing.
Right, spread out and work the length of the grounds. Check all doors and keep in touch. Report any possible sighting immediately.
He was round the back by X-ray a few minutes ago, but we lost him.
Go through casualty and check it out. There'll still be visitors on the wards, making it more difficult. Security have his description, don't they?
Yes, sir. They've got all the exits covered.
How long have you been doing this, Tina?
A couple of months. Hasn't happened before. I never thought.
Occupational hazard.
Not one I bargained for.
Cheers. Excuse me, please.
Right, check the stairs, Mike.
He's round the back of the maternity block, near the fire escape.
I really needed the money, you know?
Why?
My car was stolen. Uninsured, unpaid for. I didn't know where to go for help.
And the finance company got heavy, eh?
I only bought the car to impress the others. I thought they might like me better. They're going to be really impressed now, aren't they?
Can I see the custody records from this morning, Matthew? Sir. Thank you. Hello, Jeff. Duty solicitor again?
Yes, PC Quinn has brought in a shoplifter and needs some advice.
It's Frank Temple again, sir. He stole this bottle of vodka from the superstore. I mean, it hardly seemed worth calling Mr. Secker out.
That's what we're there for.
He claims it was planted on him as usual.
Everyone's entitled to a lawyer, Constable.
Even the Frank Temples of this world.
Yes, sir.
Right, Charlie, so what we got? Her name's Lisa Coles. She was mugged taking a short cut from Mountbatten Way onto the estate. She wouldn't go to hospital, so we brought her in here.
Cheers, mate. Hello, Lisa. I'm Detective Constable Carver, and this is WPC Croft.
Hiya.
Now, would you like to tell us what happened?
Well, I had my Walkman on C. That's how I never heard him come up behind me. First thing I know, I get shoved against the wall.
Now, take your time.
Then he tried to grab my bag, but I wouldn't let go. That's when he hit me.
Pretty hard by the looks of it.
Yeah, I suppose it was.
Is that when you let go of the bag?
Yeah. Then he grabbed me Walkman. That's what I'm really bothered about. It's 150 quid. Compact disc. Won't see that again, will I?
It's hard to tell.
There you go.
Thanks, Sarge. He's caught red-handed every time. Always the same cock and bull story. I wouldn't mind, except I'm going to be tied up all afternoon listening to it. Duty solicitors here, Frank. Is there anything else that might help?
He had one of them jackets, a Baccio.
Sorry?
You know, the designer. Italian. Cost about 200 quid. Right many of them about.
Can you describe it?
It's just a tan suede jacket with a name on the back. Baccio. B-A-C-I-O.
200 quid for a jacket.
It was fashionable, wasn't it?
OK, Lisa, well, you've been very helpful. Look, we'll need you to come down the station later to make a proper statement, all right?
Sure. OK.
I reckon I know whose work this is, Suzi.
Really?
Gary Davis. I had him in a few months back after half a dozen robberies down there. The same description and the same M.O.
Yeah, I remember him. He was never prosecuted, was he?
No, CPS wouldn't go for it.
Insufficient evidence of identification.
I think we've got enough on it now.
Well, I would put money on it. This jacket sounds just like Davis. He always was a bit of a fashion victim.
643 from Sierra Oscar, receiving over.
Yeah, go ahead, Polly.
We've got another making off from Shahani's garage, June. Any chance you can deal?
Yeah, okay, we'll do.
Did you ever get those blokes you were after for that other job, Mr. Carver?
No, not yet.
You reckoned I'd done it? Can you believe it?
Really?
Shameful.
You still out of work, Gary?
Yeah. See what?
I was just wondering how you could afford something like that.
Well, it's on the never, never, isn't it? Not that it's any of your business.
Really? Can I see your hands, please, Gary? How'd you get those marks?
Got into a fight in the pub last night.
Oh, yeah? With who exactly?
I don't know, some bloke fancied himself. Look, what is all this? I don't have to take this from
Is
you.
this yours then, Gary?
Yes, so what?
See? Right, Gary Davis, I'm arresting you on suspicion of robbery.
You what?
You didn't have to say anything unless you were to do so, but what you did say that.
The crazy woman drove a car at me.
Really?
Yeah, well, I saw she weren't going to pay, so I ran out to stop her, and she tried to run me down.
Did she actually hit you, sir?
No, I dived to one side. Look, I fell over.
Did anyone else see this happen?
No, there was no one else around.
This woman, what did she look like?
Mid-40s, quite tall, very respectable looking, in fact.
How much petrol was taken, sir?
£10.87 worth.
Sierra Oscar from 643 receiving over.
Go ahead, June.
Yeah, have you got the PNC check on this making off, Polly?
Yeah, vehicle.
You'll be willing to go to court over this, I take it, sir?
Of course. These people cost me thousands of pounds every year. Business is hard enough as it is.
Right, thanks, Polly.
So, Gary, when was the last time you wore this smart new jacket of yours out?
I don't know, do I?
Think about it.
When I went down the shop to get some fags.
What, earlier today?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you said he hadn't been out today.
He didn't say that. He said he hadn't been out all afternoon, officer.
You see? Get it right, Mr. Carver.
And which shop was this exactly?
The newsagents. Mountbatten Way. Carnes.
Well, that's just around the corner from where the robbery happened now. What a surprise.
I don't know, you tell me.
Well, I don't have to tell you, do I, Gary? Because we all know you did it. The victim described you and this jacket of yours down to a T.
I understood Miss Cole's description was actually pretty sketchy.
It was good enough, sir.
What, like the last time?
How did you come by this jacket, Gary?
I bought it, didn't I? Look, what's that got to do with anything?
Really? Because I'm told these jackets come to over £200 a piece. Now, that's a lot of money for someone who spends all of his time sitting on his backside watching television.
Give it a rest, Carver.
You tried to snatch her handbag. She wouldn't let go. You lashed out. You panicked.
I told you I never done it!
Now, don't give me that.
Excuse me, officer, is this really necessary?
I'm sorry, sir.
He's answered all your questions. I don't think you should be browbeating him like this.
I'm trying to establish what happened.
I'm aware of that, and I'm trying to ensure that my client is treated fairly. He's told you repeatedly now he didn't do it.
You're sure you didn't visit the petrol station at the top of Commercial Way earlier?
Of course I'm sure. What on earth's this about?
We've had a report that a woman motorist driving a dark blue Volkswagen Golf, registration G46FWN, filled up there and then drove off without paying.
That's ridiculous.
I noticed the engine's still warm, madam.
I popped out to the shops for a few minutes, that's all.
You didn't call in at the petrol station at the same time?
No.
The garage owner also said that the driver deliberately drove at him when he ran out to stop her. He reckons she tried to run him down.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Well, the description you gave us, Mrs. Secker, fits you very well. I'm afraid we're going to have to ask you to come down to the station so that we can interview you properly.
This is absurd.
Susan Secker, I'm arresting you on suspicion of making off without payment and driving a motor vehicle wantonly. You do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
I want to telephone my husband first.
Well, you'll be able to phone your husband from the police station. You'll also be able to contact a solicitor.
My husband is my solicitor. See what he has to say about this.
If you lived on the Jasmine Allen estate, where would you go to fence a compact disc Walkman?
CD Walkman, you could try out Sparks electrical stores, run by one Martin Black, ventures electrical goods, amongst other things.
I can see what we've got on him, right?
Yeah, cheers, Donna. Look, I want to know if he's got an associate by the name of Gary Davis.
Right.
Isn't he the one who slipped through your fingers a few months back, Jim?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not going to happen this time, though.
He's being held on the flimsiest of evidence. I shall have to speak to Inspector Monroe if they want to detain him past the 6 hours.
I'm sure Mr. Davis can spare us a few hours of his valuable time.
Anyway, I've asked them to ring me when they're ready to interview him again. I'm just going to pop back to the office for a bit.
Right.
Susan?
That's right, Pearce.
What's going on?
I've been arrested for making off from a petrol station.
You did what? This is Susan Secker.
Are you sure about this?
That's what's been reported, sir.
Well, making off isn't even an arrestable offence. What are you doing bringing her in here?
It's also been alleged that your wife deliberately drove her car at the attendant.
Martin Black, Outspark Electrical. Looks like he's been on friendly terms with quite a few of our local tea leaves. Oh, here we are, Gary Davis, known associate.
Great. Cheers, Donna.
Excuse me, sir.
Come on, Susan, quick march. Now.
No, just don't start on me, Jeff.
Thank you. It's all right, officer. Just pull the door to so we have a bit of privacy, will you? Now.
Sir?
I understand Mr. Secker has decided to act for his own wife.
Well, yes, sir. He seems to think it would save time rather than getting another solicitor down here.
I see.
Hey, June.
What?
You know Mrs. Secker you got there?
Mm-hmm.
I ran into her a couple of weeks back.
Hmm?
Yeah, you know the bloke that runs the mini-mart on Milbourne Way? You reckon she'd been trying to shoplift some stuff?
Really?
Yeah, having a right old set to. And we sorted it out in the end, the bloke didn't want to take it any further. But you reckon she'd been having stuff off him for a while.
Right. Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Black, I'm Detective Constable Carver. This is WPC Croft, Sun Hill. We're trying to trace a compact disc Walkman, and we wondered if you could help us. Have you had anyone try to sell you one earlier today?
No, I haven't.
Have you any CD Walkmans at all?
Nope.
Well, you wouldn't mind if we took a look around, would you, sir? Just be on the safe side.
Suit yourself.
So where exactly did you get most of this gear from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm just trying to earn a living. Hey, there's nothing out there.
You won't mind me taking a look then, will you? Jim?
I don't believe it.
There's more of these walking about than we thought.
Mrs. Secker, when we visited your house earlier today, you told us that you hadn't been to the petrol station in Commercial Way.
Officer, before we go any further, my client has something to say which may save us all some time.
I'm afraid I have a confession to make.
And what's that, Mrs. Secker?
You're right, I did go to the petrol station. I don't know why I said I didn't. Probably the shock of seeing the police on my doorstep. I just panicked, I suppose.
And you did fill up with petrol there?
I guess. When I filled the car up and went to pay, I realised I'd forgotten my checkbook. I didn't have enough cash on me. Well, we lived just 5 minutes away, so I thought I'd pop home and get it. So I drove off.
And did you stop to tell anyone that's where you were going?
I was going to, but there was a queue of people. I thought I'd be back before anyone noticed.
The garage owner, Mr. Shahani, tells us that there was nobody else there at the time. He says that he ran out to try and stop you.
I honestly didn't see him if he did.
Well, he says he ran straight out in front of your car and that you deliberately drove at him. He had to dive out of the way.
May I ask if Mr. Shahani has any witnesses to substantiate this version of events?
No, but he showed us where he'd torn his clothing when he fell, trying to get out of the way.
And do we know that happened during this incident?
Why should he lie to us, Mr. Secker?
Because he thought wrongly that this was a making of. He's given you a rather colourful version of events.
I imagine that Mr. Shahani gets quite a few people making off, and he gets pretty upset about it, and wants the police to do something.
If this is true, Mrs. Secker, then why didn't you return to the petrol station? I mean, we called at your house over an hour afterwards.
Well, that's the embarrassing bit. When I got home, the phone rang, and I got distracted. I completely slipped my mind. It was only when you came round that I realised what I'd done.
Mm-hmm. So why didn't you explain to us what had happened?
I just panicked. It was very stupid of me.
Hang on, Susan. As you know, officer, a person's only guilty of making off under Section 3 of the Theft Act 1978 if they intend to permanently avoid paying. Now, I suggest that she pays the petrol bill and we can stop wasting everyone's time.
There's a few more questions I'd like to ask Mrs. Secker, actually, sir.
Martin Black, Sarge, suspected handling of stolen goods. We've got a dozen jackets worth about £2,000.
I told you I bought them legit.
It's got no receipts or nothing. Suzi Croft's checking it out.
Right. Hold on a minute.
What is it?
When am I getting out of here?
Not for a very long time if you keep this nonsense up.
I want to see my brief.
Yeah, well, he's otherwise engaged at the moment.
Oi!
Tell me, Mrs. Secker, have you ever been involved in anything like this before? I mean, where the police were called?
No, of course not.
Only another officer has told us that he thought you were involved in an incident a couple of weeks ago at the mini supermarket in Melbourne Way. The owner accused you of shoplifting?
Officer, this has nothing whatsoever to do with the matter in hand.
Look, I'm simply trying to establish whether Mrs. Secker genuinely forgot to pay for the petrol or whether it's something
And
that
I'm
she
telling
does.
you that this incident, if indeed there ever was one, is entirely irrelevant to that question.
I don't agree with you,
I
sir.
can explain the shoplifting.
No, Susan, you're not going to answer any more questions. My wife has given a full account of what happened today, and she has nothing further to add.
Please, I want to explain.
No, Susan, you've said enough. Just let me handle
It was all just a mix-up.
Susan, for heaven's sake, I'm meant to be representing you.
Well, stop ordering me about then. I can't stand it.
You're being hysterical. I'm sorry about that.
I don't even want you here. I can handle this myself.
Don't do this, Susan.
I want to speak with WPC Ackland alone.
No, I'm not leaving.
Jeff, please.
Mr. Secker and PC Stamp leaving the room.
These jackets trace back to a warehouse raid a couple of weeks ago. Quite a nasty one by all accounts.
Told you. I bought them off a bloke who said they were surplus stock.
And you believed him. A man of your experience.
Look, this bloke I bought them off, I don't know him as such, but I can give you a pretty good description.
Well, I don't think that'd be much help to you, Susie.
Not really, no.
After all, you could give us any description you want, couldn't you? Now, Martin, we're more interested in who you sold the jackets to, not who you got them from.
What do you want to know that for?
We have our reasons.
I only sold a couple.
Well, we know you sold one to your mate, Gary Davis. Who else?
Just another bloke lives on the estate.
And who would that be?
Stuart Williams, his name is.
And do they look pretty similar, Davis and this Stuart Williams?
Yeah, suppose they do when you think about it.
Got an address for him?
Yeah, I'm not grassing him up for something, am I?
The address, Martin.
How long has all this shoplifting been going on, Susan?
A couple of months, I suppose.
And is there any particular reason why you've been doing it?
No. Don't know.
I mean, you don't need the money or anything.
Oh, no. Jeff provides for me very well, thank you.
Susan, tell me what happened at the petrol station today.
I just drove off without paying.
No, deliberately, you mean?
Yes.
And did you deliberately drive at Mr. Shahani?
No, I mean, yes, I saw him come running out. And I just pressed the accelerator.
You could have been killed.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean about the rest. I never wanted to hurt Mr. Shahani.
Does your husband know about the shoplifting?
I got caught once when he was there. It's all pretty embarrassing. Jeff ended up paying the shopkeeper 50 quid to forget the whole thing. Anyway, after that, I had to tell him everything.
What did he say?
He was furious. Wanted me to see a psychiatrist. Reckoned I needed professional help, as he put it.
And did you go to see one?
No. I don't need a psychiatrist. I just need... I don't know. I just feel so trapped. Sorry.
It's all right. Look, Susan, I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but when you gave me that story earlier on, you know, about driving off to go and get your checkbook, did you make up that story yourself?
Well, yes.
Your husband didn't tell you to say that?
Well, Jeff told me that I couldn't be found guilty if I'd just plain forgotten to pay.
Yeah, but did you tell him that that wasn't what happened, that you deliberately drove off without paying for the petrol?
Yes, but he said maybe I really had gone back to get the checkbook, but my mind had gone blank, something.
But you knew that wasn't true. I'm sorry, Susan, can you say it for the tape?
Yes.
So your husband told you to lie to us?
He said it wasn't lying. He said it was putting forward our best defence.
Are you a married man, Sergeant?
Was.
You know what it's like, then.
Yeah. He's still paying the alimony.
You can't win, can you? All sorted out, is it?
You could say that, sir. I'm just going to see Inspector Monroe, Tony. I won't be a minute.
I'd better have a word with her.
This is a serious allegation, June.
I know, sir.
You're sure Mr. Secker actually told his wife to give you this made-up story?
That's what she told me. Now, I know she's got her problems, but I believe her.
I just find it difficult to imagine. Jeff Secker, of all people!
Yeah, but it could explain a lot of things, like why she only came up with this story after they'd spoken.
Yes. Right, I better see what he's got to say for himself.
Sir?
Oi! What are you, council? No, police. Oh, right. The key's usually up there. Tell him to turn that music down.
Cheers, love.
Hello?
You may have thought that was me, you may have thought that was Albert before the night over. It's going to get me
Police, now can you turn this down a bit?
What are you doing in here?
We want to talk to you about a mugging earlier today.
What mugging?
Jim? Still got her name on it.
I bought it.
Oh, is that right? Well, perhaps you should use it more often. Give your neighbours a rest.
You are aware that suggesting a defence to a client is highly improper.
Of course, that's not what happened.
Your wife seems to think differently. She says you told her to give us this story.
Andrew, my wife's been through a lot today. She's prone to getting herself confused.
WPC Ackland seems to think she's pretty clear about this.
Look, as you know, discussions between a solicitor and his client are confidential. I can't possibly go into...
But you did know she'd been shoplifting.
As I told your WPC Ackland, the shoplifting has nothing to do with this.
It must have made it hard for you to say she had no dishonest intent.
Well, that's all. This was entirely different.
Oh, come off it, Jeff. You knew she deliberately drove off from that garage and you cooked up a story you thought would get her off, didn't you?
I don't have to listen to this.
In that case, I'll be reporting what's happened to the Solicitors Complaints Bureau.
You'll what?
You heard me. You knew you shouldn't really have been representing your own wife. You did it because you thought you could make a quick fix and stop any of this coming to light.
Andrew, Susan will now have to go to court for these offences. You know what it's like for a woman like her. She'll be a laughingstock. She'll be humiliated.
It's not the point, is it?
Can't you see she's having some kind of a breakdown? For heaven's sake, what do you think this is going to do to her? Oh, well, I'm telling you all, it's not your problem, is it?
It still doesn't make it right.
I know.
Let's just leave it at that, shall we?
Right, out.
When are you going to say sorry, Carver?
Until next time, Davis.
You've been a bit testicular there, Jim.
Oh, don't worry about it, Suzi. He's obviously done a few. We'll get him sooner or later.
Right, you're being bailed to appear at Canley Magistrates Court next Tuesday at 10 a.m. If you fail to appear, it's a separate offence and you can be fined, imprisoned or both.
I think we know that, Sergeant.
Do you understand? That's your copy.
Can we go now?
Yes, I think so. Show Mr. and Mrs. Secker out with your police, Jim.
Same time next week then, Mr. Secker.
I won't go to prison, will I?
No, I shouldn't think so.
What about Jeff? Did I get him into trouble?
Look, you just worry about yourself.
Susan!
He's down there.
Look, you wait here, something like that. You found him, did you?
Yeah, I was cutting across the road. Otherwise, I'd never have discovered him.
Can you give me your name, sir?
God, you should see the state of him.
How is he?
As bad as he looks. It's amazing he's still alive.
Ready?
Yeah.
Stabbing, is it?
Looks like it.
Right, Jim, when you go back with the ambulance to hospital.
Sure.
So, have a look and see if we can find anything resembling evidence.
His name's Ian Copley. He lives locally. He's 20.
Oh, the cardiac output's gone.
Look, can I do anything?
No.
Here. Lethal chip wrapper, is it? No. Come take a look at this. Not the sort of thing you'd want someone sticking between your ribs, is it?
WPC Ackland?
Yes.
I'm afraid there wasn't anything we could do. I've certified him as brought in dead at 6:45 a.m.
And the cause of death?
Looks like a knife wound. The post-mortem may throw up something else, but I'd be surprised. He's lost a lot of blood. Looks like he's been lying there for some time.
Now, how long do you reckon?
3-4 hours?
All right, so that means that at about 3 o'clock this morning, somebody stabbed him and left him to bleed to death.
OK, yeah, I understand. Thanks. Well, it looks like Amit won't be here till later today. Wouldn't take your coat off, Joe. I want you to go and pick the boy's mother up and look after her while she IDs the body.
Is there not going to be a briefing?
Well, you know as much about it as I do at the moment. Whatever happens, I'll get somebody to fill you in later, OK?
OK, Gov.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, sir, this is the knife I found near the path on Canley Fields. We did a pretty thorough search.
You mean you walked all over the scene? That's a good start.
Hello? Mrs. Copley?
Yes.
I'm DS Morgan from Sun Hill.
You got some identification?
Well, that's my warrant card.
I'll have to take your word for it.
I'm sorry, I didn't realise you were...
But I'm blind. I'm used to it. People don't think.
You can check by phoning Sun Hill Police Station. I'll give you their number.
Why don't you tell me what it is that you want?
It's about your son, Ian.
He's away. For the weekend.
I'm afraid I may have some bad news for you. Could I come in?
In here.
Thank you. Would you like to sit down? Earlier this morning, a young man, aged about 20, was found on Canley Fields. He'd been stabbed. He was wearing a brown leather jacket, and in the pocket of the jacket we found a wallet belonging to Ian Copley. I'm afraid to say that he died in the ambulance on the way to hospital. Now, the thing is, we can't be certain that it is Ian until we can get somebody to identify him.
I will.
Is there not somebody else who can go with you? His father, perhaps?
No, his father's dead. There isn't anyone else.
Do you have a recent photograph of Ian?
Over there, by his trophies, it should be.
The photograph of the fisherman? Could I borrow this?
He went fishing yesterday. He was supposed to be in Clacton until this evening.
The thing is, Mrs. Copley, I don't know whether the coroner will accept identification by a blind person. So
I want to see him.
I understand.
You don't understand.
Nothing to report on Canley Fields.
What about the surrounding area?
Well, the Cadwin received 5 calls overnight complaining of a party in Drummond Street. Now, look, Drummond Street here, and as you can see, it's not very far away from where the lad was found. Tom Appleby was in the van, and he went round there about 3:30 in the morning.
What was the problem?
Well, there were just complaints from the neighbours about the noise. Tom spoke to Mr. Frampton, asked him to turn it down, he did, then there were no more complaints. Tom also went round about 5 o'clock. There were still people there, but all was quiet.
Well, can you get over there? Because if there were guests wandering around in the early hours of the morning, it could be useful.
If you wouldn't mind waiting here for a moment, I'll just go and check that we can go in.
I've spent far too much time in this hospital. I always think it can't get any worse.
Well, we'll get the identification over as quickly as we can.
I don't understand what Ian was doing in Sunhill. He said he'd be staying down there. He knows I worry, so he always tells me where he'll be.
Well, I'm sure there's some explanation.
You can come through now.
It's just down there on the left. Are you ready?
Yes.
He's just in front of you now. If you could tell us if it is Ian, Mrs. Copley.
Could you show me where his face is?
Here. Mrs. Copley?
It's not him.
If there's any doubt in your mind...
It's not Ian!
Judging by the photograph...
I know my own son. What colour are his eyes? Ian has blue eyes. Can't you see that in the picture?
Well, it's not clear. Could you check, please?
They're brown, not blue.
It's not Ian. Please, listen to what I'm telling you.
There's clearly been some mistake. I think it's best if we get you home as quickly as possible.
A mistake? There's been a mistake? How could you be so stupid?
I did try to explain...
You should never have told me he was dead. You didn't know. Let me out of here.
Look, I'll take you to the car.
Get your hands off me! Just get away from me.
I'll show you the way.
I don't usually sleep very well, but last night it was terrible. Loud music, cars starting, door slamming. I was awake most of the night.
Someone down the road said he thought he had some shouting around 3 o'clock.
There were some boys. 4 or 5 of them making a lot of noise. And I was going to tell them to shut up, but they were all drunk, chasing after someone.
Did you see who they were chasing?
Another man.
Well, can you describe any of them?
No, they were all young. White. Yubbos like you see around here all the time.
It's DC Lyons, Sunhill.
Please?
Yeah, it's about the party. Are you the householder?
I suppose so. It was my party.
And what's your name?
Joe Frampton. Look, I know it was a bit loud last night, but it's the last 21st party I ever had.
It's not about the noise, I'm afraid. It's more serious than that. Can I come in?
Yeah.
Thank you. A lot of people here last night.
Yeah, it got totally out of hand. Must have been about 200. I've never seen half of them before.
Do you know someone called Ian Copley?
Nah, never heard of him. What's this all about?
Well, a lad aged about 20 was found stabbed early this morning on the common. We think he was here at this party.
But there wasn't any trouble here. It was just people having a good time.
Yeah, but things always look a bit different the morning after, don't they?
Is the cab here?
Not yet. It's Joe Morgan. I want to ask you some questions.
All I want to ask you is who do I speak to about you and what you've done this morning? I won't have you thinking you can get away with this.
The young man who died last night looked quite similar to Ian. He was wearing a jacket of the sort that you say Ian wears, and he had his wallet.
You could have checked.
That's exactly what we were doing. Look, I need to speak to Ian as soon as possible to find out why he lost his wallet, and I'll need your cooperation with that.
I expect you will.
And I hope I'm going to get it. Because none of what's happened this morning alters the fact that that young man lying out there was murdered last night. You haven't lost your son, Mrs. Copley, but some poor mother has.
Its index number is Delta 678 Foxtrot Yankee Foxtrot.
I'll check that.
Okay, thanks, Kath.
My wife gave the full details of your people when she phoned.
Yeah, all right. What time was it left here?
Well, I don't know. Middle of the night.
I don't know their addresses and stuff. I see him at college and down a pub.
Then put down the name of the college and the name of the pub. That way we might be able to trace him. Let's get some air in here, eh? Might wake you up a bit. That's better. Hang on a minute. This your jacket?
No, I don't wear leather, I'm a vegan.
Like Mr. Spot. Peter Lane, do you know him?
Yeah, he's at college.
Was he here last night?
Well, he must have been if he's left his jacket.
DC Woods from Sierra Oscar.
Receiving?
That PNC check you were after, Alan. The car's not shown lost or stolen.
So it was just stupidly parked. Go on, Kathy.
Registered keeper shown as a Peter Matthew Lane.
His father said he didn't come home last night. He's very worried about him. He's not done that before.
So the dead man could be Peter Lane?
Yeah.
You'll get his father over to St Hughes.
If we take many more down there, they're going to start charging admission.
Joe, any near a finding Ian Copley?
No, he went to Clacton yesterday morning. He was due to go out on a boat at 9 this morning.
We'll see if you can find a way of getting him back. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting around here like lemons till he shows.
Yeah, that jacket Tosh brought in. I don't know if it's significant, but it's very similar to the one the victim was wearing.
Well, you're just going to have to add that to the list of all the other things we won't know till we find Ian Copley.
Hello, Teresa. It's Joe Morgan from Sun Hill. I've got DC Woods with me.
Morning.
Can't get rid of you, can I?
I've tried all the numbers you gave me, but I still haven't been able to find out where Ian is.
He's in his bedroom.
I did ask you to phone. Can I come in, please, and talk to him?
Why bother asking? You're going to, whatever I say.
Why did he come back?
He phoned while I was with you at the hospital. And when there was no answer, he came back. He thought I'd had an accident or something.
It's very considerate of him.
There's nothing he can tell you. I've spoken to him. Ian?
All right, Mum.
It's the police.
I'm Detective Sergeant Morgan. This is Detective Constable Woods. We're investigating the death of a man on Canley Fields last night.
Yeah, Mum said about telling her it was me. So, she thought I was dead, and when I phoned up and there was no answer, I was thinking she might be. Well, it's got its funny side.
He can explain the mix-up about the jacket.
Yeah, one of my mates wanted to come back to a party last night. So, we slogged all the way back up here. When we got to this party, I took my jacket off because it was getting hot. Someone went and nicked it.
You've no idea who might have taken it?
Well, if I had, I would have tried to get it back.
We know where it is now, so that's that.
Ian, there's something we found earlier on today we'd like you to take a look at, so if you wouldn't mind coming with us to the station.
Well, can't it wait? There are some things I need him to do for me.
Hey, look, why don't you take it easy this morning, Mum, eh? I won't be long.
Ian?
Look, I'm going now, Mum.
Don't I get a kiss?
Are you sure she'll be all right?
Yeah, should be. She's terrible at it, being blind. She had the diabetes for a long time, but sight only went a few years ago. Can't get the hang of it.
She must rely on you.
So that's him?
Yeah, Peter Matthew Lane. Sounds like he had a lot going for him.
Well, he did till about 8 hours ago.
I do the best for my mother, but sometimes it's better if I don't tell her everything, so as I don't upset her.
Are you saying you never went on this fishing trip?
I told her I was going to spend a weekend down in Clacton, but I'd fixed to go to this party in Sunhill with my girlfriend last night. This guy, Joe Frampton, is 21st.
Who's your girlfriend?
She's called Louise Abbott. My mother doesn't like her. I mean, really, doesn't like her. So, if I want to spend the night at her place, sometimes I've got to be a bit devious.
So you spent the night with her?
Well, it was that or kipping with 4 blokes in the back of a transit parked on Clacton seafront.
How long were you at this party for?
We got there about, after the pub had closed, about 11:30. Stayed till about 3, something like that.
What you told us about losing your jacket, is that true?
Yeah. I took it off, put it down on a chair. I tried to find it when we were leaving, but it had gone.
You see, when we searched Frampton's house this morning, we found a jacket identical to yours down the side of a chair, but you never found it.
No. Look, it was packed with people in there. Look, I was sick about losing it.
So what did you do after you left Frampton's?
Went back to Louise's flat and stayed there till about 8:30 this morning.
Ian, a young man about your age, someone who was at the party, was stabbed on the common last night. He was wearing your jacket. Do you know anything about this?
No.
Do you have a knife, Ian?
I've got 2 or 3 I use when I go fishing.
Do you recognise this knife?
I'm not sure.
It's a pretty distinctive knife. You surely know whether you've seen it before or not.
I've got one like that. I'm not sure if it's that one.
Do you know where yours is?
He must have been in my jacket when he got nicked.
Why is that? It's not the sort of thing you need at a party.
Well, I had it in the pocket. There's no particular reason.
Ian, I'm going to have to ask you to wait here until we make further inquiries.
I ought to get back to my mother.
Well, you can give her a ring.
Now, she'll worry.
Yeah, well, she would have been on her own anyway if you'd gone fishing today.
Yeah, I wish I had.
Sorry, I live upstairs.
Louise Abbott.
Yes?
DCI Meadows, DC Lines, Sunhill. We'd like to talk to you about Ian Copley.
What if he's covering for one of his mates?
Well, we won't know that until we can trace them.
Yeah, but if he has done it, don't you think he'd have gone off fishing today, put a bit of distance between him and us?
Well, I'm more interested in something he did do. He says he left the party at about 3 o'clock with Louise Abbott. Now, they go back to her place, and presumably it's not just for the Horlicks. But within 4 hours of getting to her flat, he's on the phone to his mother.
Ian does everything for her. Housework, cooking, everything. Sometimes he's got to have a life of his own. That's partly why he got into fishing. It's an excuse to be away from her.
So you don't get on with Mrs. Copley?
I know it's not very kind, but it's almost like she's jealous of me. I don't know, it's something that me, Ian and her are going to have to work out.
What was Ian wearing at the party last night?
Oh, he come straight from fishing. He still had his old blue jersey on and his leather jacket.
Did he take his jacket off?
Louise, phone for you.
Tosh, can you get that? Say she'll call back.
Yeah. Hello, can I take a message for Louise? Teresa, right? What's your other name? I'll tell you rang Mrs. Copley.
This is a murder inquiry, Louise, so it's very important you tell us exactly what happened.
Yes, I realise that.
Right. That was Teresa Copley on the phone.
You don't seem too surprised.
I'm not. Oh, this is such a mess.
What is?
She phoned before, and it's like it always is with her. She made me feel so guilty. She said that if I was serious about Ian, then I knew it was stupid.
What was?
She told me to lie to you, to tell you that Ian came back here with me last night. She said I owed it to him.
And you went along with that?
I didn't know someone had died. I should have told you the truth anyway, because I know Ian wouldn't hurt anyone.
And you're not a very convincing liar. What happened last night?
It was partly my fault. We were at this party and I saw this boy leaving wearing Ian's jacket, so I told him to do something about it. I mean, it would be just like him to let it go. Anything for the quiet life. He'd let the boy walk out the door wearing his new jacket.
What did Ian do?
He went out after him. And I told the others, his mates, to make sure Ian got the jacket back. So they all went.
So the four of them followed this man who was wearing Ian's jacket?
Yeah.
What happened then?
I don't know. They never came back. I waited nearly an hour, but I thought Ian must have bottled out and let the guy walk off. Ian isn't a wimp. It's just that sometimes... Anyway, he didn't come back. So I got a minicab and came home.
And what did Teresa Copley say when she phoned?
She said there'd been an accident and that Ian could get into trouble. She told me to say that he'd been here with me.
You've done the right thing in telling us.
Have I?
Ian, we talked to Louise Abbott. She says you left her at the party and didn't return. That was after you and your friends followed Peter Lane out of the house.
Is that his name? Peter Lane? I didn't know.
You followed Peter to the common. You had your knife.
Martin Jason stopped him. He laughed at me. They were all laughing. And then it was like something changed. He got scared, started to struggle. I mean, all he had to do was give me back my jacket.
What happened, Ian?
He fell forward onto the blade and it went in. I could feel it cutting inside him. Look, it was an accident. You can't believe me.
But you left him there. You didn't try to help him.
All the others ran off. I tried to get my jacket, but the blood was soaking into it. My mates would call for me to leave it. I'm sorry, I really am. Is there anything I can do? Can I write to his family or something?
If you thought it was an accident, why didn't you tell us all this before?
Look, I've told you what happened. Can't we just leave it there?
Mrs. Copley!
Let's try around the back.
It's open.
Someone's been doing the washing. Check it out, will you?
Okay.
Mrs. Copley. It's D.S. Morgan.
Ian phoned me. He told me what you'd done. If he goes to prison, I can't cope without him.
Is there someone we can get to come in?
I mean, I'll kill myself. I've got enough insulin.
I found these in the machine.
What's that man doing?
This is DC Lines.
I found a blue jumper and a pair of jeans. Did Ian wash them this morning?
Ian was dead, and then he came back, and now you've taken him away again. Don't ask me about blue jumpers. You're making an even worse mistake this time. Ian isn't a murderer. Can't you understand that? It was an accident.
Well, from what Ian's told us, it looks like it might have been.
When he came back, he was crying like he did when he was a kid. Because of the cold. Because of what he'd done. He decided that he'd tell the police, but he came to tell me first.
Why did he change his mind?
For me. He wouldn't leave me. I had to help him. I could feel there was still blood on the jumper.
Mrs. Copley, if you've deliberately obstructed our inquiries, you've broken the law. And I should warn you that you do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you say may be given in evidence.
That photograph of Ian you took to the hospital this morning, you didn't bring it back.
It's in our incident room.
People say it's very good of Ian.
Well, I'll let you have it back as soon as possible.
You go and get it now. You're not having that. Not that as well.